Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Road to Young Live TV show here out of Norfolk, Virginia. I'd like to thank each and every last one of you guys for tuning in. We are here and we're back to talk about the regional jail once again. On yesterday, we did a story about Suffolk Regional Jail, how corrupt the inside of the jail is. So many inmates inside of the jail is reaching out saying that they are being beaten by the guards. They say whether or not we're guilty of a crime, we still have rights and we still are human. And it does not give no one the right to beat us. Um, Today, I had Mrs. Rita to contact me about her son. I met her back in November. She reminded me, I met her back in November when we was at the turkey giveaway in Suffolk, Virginia. And she said she was trying to get in contact with me, but she was not able to. And also she had some issues with her medical during the time and process. But the Lord always find his way when people can line up. It's not our timing, but it's the Lord's. On yesterday, she said she was watching my Facebook platform when I was talking with Terry Ritz about the corruptions that's going on inside of Suffolk Western Regional Jail. How people inside of the inmates inside of the jail is reaching out to let us know that they are allegedly being beaten by the guards, beaten with their handcuffs on, putting inside the jail cells, inside the hole for a extremely long time. They some been in there as long as 3 years. Another lady contacted us and said her son been in the hole allegedly almost 8 years. It's sad in me today, but I'm glad God has lined us up that I can speak to Miss Rita Outlaw about the issues of her son inside of Suffolk Regional Jail. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
You contacted me on today, Miss Rita. Can you tell us why was it important that you got in contact with me today?
Because I feel that no matter if you are an inmate, you still have rights. And I have had my son beaten by Captain Durpee, beat him down while he was handcuffed, maced him, made him put his face down in urine. And I filed a complaint with the superintendent. And as you know, they only found recordings of where he was going to medical. There was no cameras where they beat him in his cell to lead him to medical. And during my complaint, they just told me that Captain Dupree defended himself. Why is he defending himself when my son was handcuffed? He was attacked. He was maced. And my son has been in West Tidewater Regional Jail for almost 3 years, and he's been in the hole for 3 years. He don't
When you
get to
say
bathe.
excuse me, when you say he have been in the hole for 3 years, what is the hole? Can you explain that to us?
The hole is a cell they put you in where you're in there 24 hours a day. You don't come out for no time, none. They took his phone privileges. I have even mailed him Christmas cards he didn't get for 2 years. They keep his mail. And when he was beaten by Captain Dupree, he was definitely in the hole. I couldn't do no video calls or anything until he healed.
Wow. When your son reached out to you, can you tell us? You mentioned Captain Dupree, and I heard that name before. You mentioned that name often. Can you tell us what type of things that Captain Dupree be doing to your son?
Captain Dupree beats up not only my son, but other inmates while they are handcuffed. They do this on a regular. The prisoners in there, they don't eat no good, decent meals. They eat the same thing every day. They're not allowed to shower when they need to. The coronavirus is all over that jail, and it's not nothing sanitary in there.
Your son contacted you about not being able to take a bath. Can you tell us about that? Which
When
is this
he
to
when he was not able to take the bath, it was like 7 days. So I called down to the jail and I asked them what was the problem with him receiving a bath. They said at the time they didn't have enough guards there to take him down to take a shower. So within 7 days, you go without taking a shower because they don't have enough guards there to take you down to the shower. So I have to call the main office and I talk to Miss Dickens, which is the superintendent's secretary. So she'll speak with the guards and then he'll get a shower. But in the process this week only, there's been several inmates in there that have thrown water on the guards because they couldn't take a shower. So as you know, when they throw water on the guards, they catch a charge.
What type of sentencing do they receive once they throw water on the guards because they're not allowed to take a shower? What type of sentencing?
Okay, my son, I can only speak on my son's sentencing. My son was sentenced to 3 years for throwing water on a guard. He also was sentenced to 5 years for throwing water on a guard, suspended all but 6 months. So this is only for throwing water on you.
Wow. Why do people keep contacting me and alleging that Captain Durpee is beating them while they are in handcuffs? Why am I getting so many calls? What do your son say about the Captain Durpee temperament? What type of temperament do he have?
He is a very angry and an aggressive one. His wife also works there, and she's just as bitter as he is.
I know a lot of people say it don't matter, but it do matter to me. We want to know the race.
Well, Captain Dupree is black,
Wow.
and
Wow.
my son is black.
Have you contacted his superior about his behavior inside of Suffolk Regional Jail?
Yes, I contacted the superintendent. I filed a complaint in writing, and they only would email you back their decision, which, as I've been going through this for the past 3 years, none of these people have went over their boundaries. It's always the inmate that's at fault. But like I told them, there is no reason to take my son to medical if he hasn't been beat up in his cell.
Right. Let's go back to the incident. So your son was attacked in handcuffs by Captain Dupree. Did he say it was just one that beat him or multiple guards that beat him?
Well, actually, it was just one that beat him, and he was beaten so bad that the other guards were telling him that's enough, because he was telling him he couldn't breathe. So the only way my son could get him off of him was to kick him because his hands was cuffed, and he kicked him to keep him from choking him to death.
Wow. So he was beaten so bad that the other guards had to tell the captain that was enough. Did your
That's
son tell you what type of where he was assaulting him at? Was he punching him in the face, choking, stomping? What was he doing to him during the time of the assault?
he was fighting him in the cell. He also maced him, and he also made him put his face down on the floor and urine.
Who
And
Ewan was it?
because I don't know whose urine was, because where they are located in the hole, they're located with inmates that, some of them are not right in their state, man. So they throw feces, they urinate on the floor, whatever. But the whole time he was telling him he didn't want to put his face down in the floor. He told him he had no other choice. He had to do what he said do.
Wow. Did you try to reach out to the city mayor about the behavior of the prison guards about Suffolk Regional Jail? Did you contact the mayor, Mike Duman?
I called Mike Dillon, and they only let you leave a message, and he never to this day returned the call. And I've also called the Department of Justice to see what's going on, because my son was supposed to serve his time in prison, and he has been in the jail for 3 years, not served one day in prison. And when you have a person that's incarcerated and they can really lose their state of mind being locked up, in a cell 24 hours a day.
What is it that you want the Captain Duman to know in Suffolk Regional Jail about the assault that he's putting on these men? Even though they've been found guilty in the court of law of breaking a crime, but the police officers still they have to respect their rights. what would you like to say to him? Because you done had 5 strokes since November. You've been so overwhelmed by the assault of your son and not being able to get no attention or no help for your son. It's really weighing down heavily on your health. So what is it that you'd like to say to the captain of the jail?
What I would like to say to the superintendent and the captain, put your family in that position. Would you want your family to be treated like that? Everybody's human. And even though they have committed a crime, they still should be treated as humans. But right now, they've been treated as slaves.
Is there anything else you would like to say about regional jail that you want the public to know? Not only that our men are being beaten inside of the jails, they also been mistreated and not fed properly. Anything else you would like to know?
That's true. It's just last week I called down to the jail and asked them why was they feeding my son from a diet he wasn't supposed to have. So the man that was in charge of the kitchen, he hung up on me. He had nothing else to say to me. He would not talk to me at all. So
What type of
somebody need,
diet?
well, my
What type
son
of
wasn't,
diet?
he wasn't supposed to eat any kind of soy. And they gave him the same soy burgers every day. So you got to continue to call down there and check on your family because they really are being mistreated. And nobody you contact. When I talked to a couple of lawyers from out of Suffolk, they told me that Western Tidewater Regional Jail was under investigation. They have been under investigation for 2 years by the state police.
Wow. And for what reason is Suffolk Western Jail under investigation?
Because so many inmates have filed complaints of, being mistreated and their rights being abandoned. Once you enter that jail, you do what that jail say they because they private owned. They private
Okay.
owned. And I have even called the board of directors that's over top of the people that's in jail
Oh
just to
yeah.
get help.
Oh yeah. That's very important that you brought that up. Suffolk Western Regional Jail is private owned. And
Right.
everybody in there, guys, the longer they can keep your loved one inside of Tidewater Western Regional Jail, the more money that private jail receives. That is the only private jail, I think, in Virginia.
It's the
And
only one that I know.
yeah,
But
and
they do what they want to do,
they
no
are
matter who
receiving
you talk to.
they are receiving plenty of money, guys, for keeping your loved ones in jail. So once your loved ones enter the Suffolk Regional Western Jail, allegedly, I heard, and this is from a state congressperson, that they brought it to my attention as well, that these people are getting thousands of dollars. So their goal is to keep your loved one in there. They allegedly beat on the inmates to cause the inmates to get another charge, which caused them to be incarcerated even longer so they can continue to capitalize off of the Black community. Guys, they need a federal investigation, a statewide investigation on a Suffolk Western Regional Jail because it's privately owned, and I think it's the only one in the state of Virginia, and it's a corrupt system. And we have many and a lot of inmates in there. We're not gonna just say blacks, but right now the blacks are
Mhm.
reaching out to us, getting beaten so they can fight back and get more time, and this jail can capitalize off them inmates being there. You got to look at again grants for coronavirus. They're getting grants for housing. They're getting grants for food. And if they let each of those people out, they're gonna lose money.
Right. That's right. And no matter who you contact at that jail, they stand behind their employees.
They're standing behind the employees, regardless if they're right or wrong. So, guys, it needed to be this is another call. We did one on yesterday about inmates being assaulted inside of Suffolk Western Regional Jail. If you have a loved one inside of there and is getting beaten by the deputies, please contact Rhode Young Live or Terror Riddits so we can add their name to the list and we can get a we want to get a formal petition out and see if we get investigation started inside of that jail. We do have inmates in there, guys. That's look innocent until proven guilty. They're not even guilty. They just there because the Suffolk Virginia courts ain't giving them bail or giving them a bond to get out. So they got to be suffering through what's going on in there as well. And even if the person is guilty, does not give the guards the right to violate their constitutional rights.
Right. That's true.
I'm glad you called me to speak about your son.
Yeah, I did. And he would gladly give you information with a video call.
Now, let's speak about the elephant in the room. That's you. God asked me to speak to you, or something asked me to speak to you. Right now, it's going to be all about you. How many kids do you have?
I have two.
Two boys?
One boy, one girl.
Is your son the oldest or the youngest?
He's the youngest.
You carry a lot of his pain within your heart. You miss him dearly. At night, you can't sleep, you toss and turn.
Of course. I don't know if
And
I'm gonna get the call saying he's not living, you know.
you worry about him 24 hours a day.
Yes, I do.
It's deteriorating you. It's causing you to die in the inside.
That's right.
It's causing for your organs and stuff to start to shut down. It's so much pain bottled
Yes, it
up.
is.
It's
And
so
we
much
need
pain.
help. We really need help, Rhoda.
No, 1 second. It ain't about him right now. Right now, it's all about you. Peace be
Yeah,
still. Peace be still.
thank you.
Peace be still. I'm praying over your life that God will allow you to just like live. You need to live. You need to fight for your son. But God wants you to live because right now you in prison. And I'm worried about you having another stroke because it's ain't but so many strokes your body gonna allow you to have.
That's true.
You can't keep carrying all the burden. You can worry about your son, but you didn't do the crime. And you can't carry so much burden over your heart, okay?
Mm.
Your daughter needs you. Your grandkids need you. Your son gonna need you. If you worry yourself to death, who's gonna be here for him?
No bad.
5 strokes in less than 3 months is too much. You know,
It is.
strokes come from stress.
Yes,
They come from stress.
that's true.
Somewhere you gotta find some peace in your life.
I'm trying.
You're gonna have to find it. Your body ain't gonna take too much more if you don't.
I'm
I love
trying.
you.
I love you too.
I got kids as well, moms. Moms, I got kids as well. And I'm gonna fight for my kids, but I ain't gonna let my kids burden me till I'm sick.
Right.
You think about that.
I do.
You can worry about your son, but you can allow him to burden you till you get sick.
That's true.
We're gonna work on Tidewater Western Regional Jail. You're not alone no more. You've been fighting long enough by yourself. We right here with you. We're gonna fight them back every step of the way. I'm asking anybody that got a child, a loved one, anybody that been incarcerated in Suffolk Western Regional Jail to come forward if you've been abused by the guards. I need this lady to have some relief that her son is okay. We need to
That's
fight these people. This is the pain that what the Suffolk Western Jail is causing on our loved ones. 5 strokes later, guys, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her son. It's not fair to nobody else, child or whoever inside of that jail cell has to be living in that torture. I'm Rhoda Young Life. Well, our fight has just begun with Suffolk Western Jail. You're not alone.
Thank you.
I love you. Rest easy tonight, okay?
Thank you. I
Thank you.
will.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
You take care of yourself.
You too.
Call me anytime you need someone to speak with.
Okay, I will.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Talk with you soon. That is the evidence of stress. Our kids need to see this video like this is what our kids put our parents through. Stress, heartache, and pain. When they feel like they're fighting a fight and nobody will listen, nobody cares. They get incarcerated, guys, and they do what they want to do to them in jail, and they call home, not thinking that you are burdening your parents with all of this stuff. A lot of this stuff inside the jail can be like dealt with inside the jail if it ain't that bad. We got to be very cautious about how much we put on our ones that's not incarcerated. How much pain, how much burden we put on our mother's lap that love us unconditionally, whether we're right or whether we're wrong. We got to be considerate when we went out there to commit those crimes that we chose to do the crime and we have to do the time. We cannot, guys, when you go out there and do this stuff, don't dump all that on your mama lap once you get locked up. Y'all be killing them slowly and slowly. That's evidence right there. A mother suffering from a broken heart due to the fact that not just that her son has committed a crime, she owned that. Yes, my son committed a crime. Yes, he is incarcerated. I own that. But what I can't get with is my son calling me crying that he's been beaten by this very people that's supposed to protect him. And when I reach out to the jail and try to inform the people what's going on behind those bars, no one will listen. No one cares. It's like fighting a losing fight, but the battle is not yours, ma'am. The Lord said the battle is his. You're not alone. It's several other mothers, cousins, sisters, and brothers and friends out here going through the same thing with Suffolk Western Regional Jail. No longer would they beat the inmates in silence. We know what they did last night. We know how they handcuffed the Black community and beat them down. And I was not surprised it was by a Black man, because normally, who do crime against the Black man the most? The Black man. I'm not surprised. It's sad to me that we're going to be requesting that your badge be taken off your chest if you continue to beat on our loved ones inside of jail. On Road to Young Life. Well, I hope you hear us loud and clear. Every story that comes across my table will be exposed on my platform or what y'all really got going on inside of Suffolk Western Regional Jail. No longer would y'all beat them in silence.